Speeding.
It's a violation.
You can make them fly or jump or crash a wall. Superhero action figures over 7 inches tall.
Each sold separately.
Superman, Batman, Incredible Hulk. You can make them do their thing. Even make Spider-Man slide down a string. Lots of action for one and all. Action figures over 7 inches tall.
These superhero action figures each sold separately. Batman, Superman, Incredible Hulk, and Spider-Man. Each sold separately by Dico.
Hello, this is Joe Frantz for the Novak and Frantz show. I'm here with this guy over here. What's his name?
Hey now, Mr. Brandon Novak, live in the present person?
Yeah.
Something?
Yeah, live in the first person. We're here in my 5-story underground nuclear Holocaust fortified bunker. So just in case the big one happens, this is where we're all going to end up, boys. I got food, water, and some beer for us guys. You can't have any Novak. And of course, we have Taylor Cooper here.
Hi, everybody.
Who's the president of the Might Be News Network.
Yes, sir.
I thought you were going to wear a hat.
Yeah, sorry for all the people on YouTube. My bald head is glaring in the lights. Yeah.
And of course, we have CJ Schumard, who is the president of the Brandon Novak fan club and the CEO of all business affairs for Brandon Novak Incorporated.
There
That
it
pretty
is.
much sums it
That
up.
never ceases to fucking knock me off my feet, that title. It really doesn't.
So this is our first video show, and it's been like 8 months since we've done a show. So what have you been up to?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
I can speak for what I've done the last, let's do week, because I forget. Time just kind of merges together. I just got off a plane from Florida. 2 days prior to flying into Florida, I was summoned to a fellow friend, work colleague, who's a psychiatrist, psychologist in Yardley, PA, and he had a client, and they wanted me to come do an intervention. So I did an intervention on said client. Client agreed to go, and then the family hired me as a sober companion to fly him to treatment. And by no means was that an easy task. He was so high. I have a picture.
Well, we can't show the picture.
I'm not going to show the picture to the public, for Christ's sakes, Franz. But this is what was in my living room.
Whoa.
Oh
my God.
man.
I'm looking at a guy hunched over. He looks like it looks like a human being that's folded in half.
That's called fentanyl. It's like a whole like, remember when I used to do heroin and you would see me on heroin?
Yeah.
You didn't see me like that too often, did you?
No,
Like,
not that bad.
Yeah,
That's-
usually we're laid out on the floor.
Yeah, this is like literally Night of the Living Dead kind of
Wow.
stuff, where they look like they're gonna fall, but they don't. But they won't sit down, and they bend, and it's very weird. In between that and walking around the house, picking up bags of heroin that he continued to drop, while making sure the Narcan was present, because I thought he was probably going to overdose at any given second. At the same time, like, administering his medications that he was prescribed.
Jesus Christ.
So I had to pray to God that we would get through security to the airport.
Yeah.
We make it through security. TSA pulled him for sideline searches, and then I would have to explain. I have to give my business card and say, I'm escorting him to treatment. And it was so funny how their demeanor would completely change. Like, what's in the bag? And they're going through it, and they're looking at each little thing they pull out, and they're looking at him and looking at me.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, look, I'm escorting him to treatment. Here's my card. And then like, we're sorry for the inconvenience. Total.
We're sorry we treated you like a piece of shit 5 seconds ago.
Yeah. So then we get through there, and that's usually the hardest time in the journey when we get to the airport.
Yeah.
Because now the reality sets in all like a floodgate. Oh my God, I'm about to board a flight. I'm about to go to a different state to go to a rehab. My jig is really up
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
So that's when like terror consumes them and addiction all at once, and they become almost like a demonic plague, and they just, should I go? Should I not? And this is the word.
All of their defenses kicking at once.
At once. Bam, bam, bam. And this is what the bitch was, is all of a sudden the flight got delayed 3 hours.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So.
Well, did you take him to the bar and just calm him down with some drinks?
Well, he was so intoxicated and so inebriated on all the drugs he was on that
Yeah.
luckily he didn't even realize. But I'm praying to God that he doesn't realize, because if he does, he'll probably run out of the airport.
Yeah.
So then it happens. I convince him to get on the plane, and we go. And and I was in Florida for 2 days. But honestly, I had such a mental hangover, emotional hangover, because I like absorbed all of his spirits and all of his like, you know, just really negative, toxic vibes.
Yeah.
That was just like,
Yeah, you get that when you're consumed with negativity for so long.
Yeah.
It's just like, how am I going to escape this Gordian knot of negative vibes? And I hate the word vibes, but it's like there's no other way to describe it.
So
Yeah.
I purposely delayed coming back to stay in Florida extra day because the woman who cleans my house couldn't come yesterday. So she's cleaning it now as we speak. And
She
then when
couldn't come?
No, get your mind out of the gutter.
Well, I don't know. I'm
I'm trying to tell a serious story here, and you want to fucking pollute it with sex talk.
Yeah, right. You would have taken that
I
joke
know.
if you could.
I know. But
things are bad when you make me feel like a degenerate.
So when I go home, I'll sage my place. You know, cats are okay. You should have saw the cats. My cats just stared, and I'm like, you boys fucking better be really grateful because that could be me.
Could have been you.
Yeah, it could have been, and could be again, provided one bad decision.
Yeah.
So then, you know, he's there. I'm here. I come back today directly to do this.
Yeah.
And
then you leave again tomorrow morning.
to
But
Barcelona, Spain.
And you have a bunch of stuff to do tonight after this, a bunch of video stuff.
Yeah, because we're making a documentary about this whole trip of my like comebacks, not comeback, but just kind of to God willing remain relevant in the skateboarding world. I'm going to film like a full skate part in its entirety.
For who?
Wow.
Can you talk about it?
Johnny Schilleroff's new company.
Of Element.
Yeah, but it's not Element. They just released a big thing on the Barracks, which is like a big deal in the skateboarding world, and I had a guest appearance in there skating.
Yeah.
And so did Bam.
Bam still skates?
He actually landed this really rare.
No, he's been hurt forever, man. Every time I talk to him, he's been complaining about his hamstring for 9 months. Every time I talk to him, he's like, my hamstring's still fucked up. It's like, will you ever heal?
So the company's called The Heart Supply.
Yeah.
And the video that was just released that was on the Barracks and is kind of going all over the internet is by Johnny's son, Cam, who was best friends with Gigi. Gigi is Kobe Bryant's daughter who died in the plane crash. Yeah. So it's a tribute to Gigi, which they released on Valentine's Day.
And they edited that up fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah. I mean.
So that's what I've been up to in the last 4 days.
Wow. All right, well, I'll forego asking you about the additional 7 months and 3 weeks.
What have you been up to?
I was digging
Let
up.
me be nice and return the favor. Although I don't give a shit about what you've been up to.
There's a first for everything.
I'm an alcoholic. I'm selfish. I'm self-centered. I could care less about you. It's all me.
I know. Well, no, I was digging up dinosaurs.
You brought me one back.
I was on a dinosaur dig. You
brought
know,
me one back.
I dug up triceratops, sauropods. I probably dug 10 different species out of the ground with my own 2 hands. I mean, I wasn't the main digger. I was just documenting. I can't really talk about the whole project in its entirety yet. But
you're such a South
they
Philly
actually
wannabe
let
badass. My own 2 hands. Why do you have to get specific of how you dug it out of the ground, tough guy?
Because when you touch an animal that's 65 million years old, and you hold a piece of that animal in your hand, and it makes you realize it's like, oh my God, I'm holding a piece of a 30-foot dinosaur that lived only on plants, that was spending its life
healthy as shit,
running from a Tyrannosaurus Rex that needed 220 pounds of meat every day just to survive. And you think about that, just generation after generation and millions of years of this taking place, this cycle of life, it really makes you put everything into fucking perspective, man.
Yeah,
So
really right sizes you.
That's why I say with my own 2 hands, it's so special when you hold a piece of dinosaur.
Yeah, I say digging with my own
Yeah,
2
speaking of
hands.
which, here, get that right there over there on that shelf.
I get that you
Taylor,
held it
I
in your
got
own
something
2
for you.
hands, but you don't gotta say I dug it up with my 2 hands.
So, oh yeah, well, Taylor, I'm giving this to you. This is a piece
wow.
of Triceratops
Fuck you! I
head
used to
frill.
feel so special when you gave me one. Now you're just giving it away like fucking candy on Halloween, cocksucker.
So when you feel
it's
like
not even special. Don't worry, we all have one. Probably bought it in the gift shop.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God.
I can't believe this.
Yeah, suppose I actually never dug a dinosaur and I just bought.
Starting to feel that way. The way you're handing them out like candy.
Wow.
This is 65
I'm spreading the love.
Oh, yeah.
This is incredible.
Whenever
Thank
you
very
feel
much.
stress, you hold that in your hand. The stress will
absolutely will.
melt away. All right, anyways,
Or he has.
What else? You gonna give more away? You got more down there?
Speaking of stress, since this is now a video show, I wanted to show something. Okay, so it's the 1970s, and not now, but it used to be when I was a kid. And so you would need these games for children's parties. You remember the little pools that you buy, the plastic pools, you fill them up, and all the kids, Well, they had a game back then called Lawn Darts, and it came in a package that looked like this. Now, Lawn Darts was a game that was played by every kid in every neighborhood throughout suburbia, right?
Right.
And I'm going to give you a lawn dart right here. I want you to hold this. It's about, what, as big as your
Dig
forearm?
this up with your bare hands, too. 65 million years old, too.
No, that's 40. Now, did you ever play lawn darts?
I remember them. But I don't think I played them correctly. I just did like this.
That's what everyone did, and that's why in like 4-year period there was 6,000 injuries in America and 2 deaths. And basically, the point of this game is, I don't know if you can see this here, but so they give you like 2 hula hoops with this game and 2 sets of darts the size of your wrists, and the idea is to stand next to your hula hoop and throw the dart into the opponent's hula hoop. Only the thing is, you're standing next to your hula hoop, so you have children and drunk adults throwing these at each other. What could happen? What possibly could you like?
Evolution.
See?
Yeah.
This thing is solid. Yeah. No, this is definitely solid.
That's like 2 pounds.
This is hurting you if it hits you at any speed, basically.
They used to make them with sharp points too.
Especially with sharp points, it's over for you.
Yeah.
Like this is weighted. Like if it right in your face.
I know.
Oh, this is bad news.
Well, the one kid had hit in the eye, so he was like a paraplegic, and then it killed the other girl. I don't know.
And that's when they put a stop to it?
Yeah, so eventually they stopped the sale of lawn darts. So if you ever pick up lawn darts at a yard sale, the moral of the story is don't use them. But you can sell them on eBay for a lot of money. Hey, it looks like
What's that worth?
We have a caller here. I don't know. In the package.
We haven't been on the air for 8 months, and we've been on the show for 3 minutes, and you already want to take calls? Don't we have so much shit to go over?
No, well, yeah, but we
They don't want to
promised-
fucking hear about other people?
CJ, you're on my cord, man.
Jesus Christ.
We got so many fucking cords here. It looks like the Indiana Jones snake pit scene. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show. Well, CJ dropped the
Here we
first
go.
call.
Yeah, he's on there.
What's that?
Oh, there you are.
Together, CJ.
Hey, buddy, what's on your mind?
Hey, man, I just wanted to call you guys. I saw you guys on Facebook. You're doing like you're doing your live or whatever. So I wanted to kind of reach out and ask you guys some questions, if that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Awesome. And first and foremost, I just want to say how much your show just like reminds me of Radio Bam, dude. And it gives me that like nostalgia that I love about it.
Thank you.
First, I kind of wanted to ask you, Streets of Baltimore. When is it coming out?
Very fitting question, I believe.
The Streets of Baltimore is the.
For sure, dude.
If looks could kill right now.
Yeah. Well,
I bet.
it's the long-awaited sequel to Dream Seller. This chronicles Brandon's life on the streets of Baltimore, the debauchery that he lived in and created for himself, and his rise to fame of Viva La Bam, on which he got addicted to cocaine. And so if you think that Dream Seller was a crazy book, I think this is way better than Dream Seller. Has a lot of action, heroin-polluted romance. It's in many parts a crime drama. I mean, it's just an insane book. And also in the book, we have your original arrest records that we went to Baltimore to dig up. It was crazy. So every time he gets arrested, you not only get to see over 50 pages of full color photos but you also get to actually read the actual police accounts of each arrest and rehab. So it was amazing. So right now, I guess we should say it, man. We just got it reviewed by Steve-O of Jackass, and
Fuck yeah.
yeah, and Dr. Drew. Dr. Drew gave us a beautiful review, and we're working on a couple other reviews before it gets released.
So the book is finished. The book is absolutely finished, 100% complete. I have a copy of it in my truck as we speak. Like, no bullshit. It is done. We are waiting on, maybe 2, at most 3 more reviews. And then, we'll be putting it out. So with that being said, I hate giving a rough time, but what would you say a rough timeline would be of when?
I don't know. I'm just wondering why this guy's breathing so hard. What are you doing? What's going on
I'm
over
walking
there?
around I'm running laps in my kitchen.
That's cool.
Oh, okay. You know what they call that? They call that when someone does that, they're a peripatetic. That's someone who walks and communicates and thinks all at once.
Or a fucking multitasker.
I got a
Stop getting all
multitask.
nerdy and shit. The book is coming out within around when? I'd say.
Dude, I can't wait.
Roughly.
Yeah, we can't
6
wait
months?
either. No,
Before the end of
shorter
the year.
than that.
3 months?
Shorter than that. I'd like to say 3 months.
All right.
Yeah.
I'd say about 3 months. So
Yeah.
keep an eye out. Again, the book is finished. I
Big
can't
time.
stress that enough. The book is finished. Just hang in
thank
there a
you.
little
Okay,
bit longer.
I got another question for you. I got a couple more questions for you guys.
Okay. Go.
Jackass 4, are you guys involved in that at all? Or
We can't. We're not allowed to say it at this point. We're not allowed to say anything. We're sworn to secrecy.
Okay. One more quick question for you guys.
Okay.
And this one's for Joe specifically. The Don Vito tooth, the Lamborghini tooth pull, is it safe to say that footage is gone forever?
Yes. The footage will probably never be will never probably see the light of day. I own the tooth from the So yeah, I know. So when we did what was it, Jackass 2, Don Vito had a big part in it. The whole signature stunt of the whole movie was Don Vito got his tooth pulled by a string that was attached to the bumper of Bam's Lamborghini, driven by Bam and Johnny Knoxville. And of course, Don Vito got wrongfully accused of some legal indiscretions, which he did not do. And so I don't want to talk about that because it really pisses me off. But anyway, so Paramount took the footage and shelved it. But Don Vito gave me the tooth.
You know that tooth pull stunt was I was originally supposed to do that?
No.
Yeah.
Why didn't
I
you?
was slated to do it, but that's when I did doo-doo falls and broke all my ribs and they had to take me to the hospital, which is where then the police were there waiting to detain me for the prescription fraud. So I went directly from there to jail, which is why I did the tooth pull.
Well.
Yeah. Fun
There's always
fact.
Jackass 4, Novak.
Maybe you can make up for it in the new Jackass.
Read about it in the streets of Baltimore. It's all in there. Buy 50 copies
Can't
personally.
wait.
All right, well, thanks so much for your call, brother.
Fuck yeah, pleasure.
Hey, thank you guys for taking me.
All right,
Yeah, man.
God bless you. Oh, man, the memories. So, speaking of memories, Brandon, I got something I wanted you to hear.
What do you got?
Well, I wanted to do this hot audio thing. Let me see if I can get this to work. Okay, so in the 1980s, there were a lot of fad diets going on. A lot
on my
of diet
posture.
pills. Yeah. It's working on
It's a big
posture.
deal.
There was a lot of fad diets, and there was one very popular diet plan that was. Jesus, you're intense right now. Is that how you meditate?
I'm just kind of becoming one.
Well, anyway, you can become
With
one
this
with
long,
this.
drawn out story.
There
Go
was-
somewhere.
No, because you that fucking demonic stare is scaring the shit out of me. I'm just like, I've never seen him like
man.
this.
I'm bored.
Okay, anyway, here's the commercial they were running.
All right.
The diet plan was called the AIDS diet plan.
Yeah.
It was spelled AYDS.
Okay.
This, of course, was before 1982, before we
Long
discovered
dart
that
era.
there was, yes, and this is before we discovered that there was AIDS. Mm-hmm. So AIDS, the disease, and the AIDS diet plan came out at the same time. And this was their commercial.
Multitasking.
I've tried fad diets, powders, pills. Still, my weight's been up and down like a yo-yo until the AIDS plan taught me how to take off weight and help keep it off.
AIDS may taste like a candy, but AIDS contains one of the most effective appetite suppressants you can buy. And there's no stimulant in AIDS that could make you nervous.
With AIDS, I ate less, so the weight came off. To help keep it off when I sometimes want things loaded with calories, AIDS helps put me in control.
Let the AIDS plan teach you how to take off weight and help keep it off. Try peanut butter AIDS.
Jesus Christ.
No, can you imagine spending multi-million dollars into an ad campaign and then a terrible, life-threatening epidemic disease comes out at the same time? And
but those AIDS weren't peanut butter flavored.
yeah, that's true. But can you imagine, like, people are like, oh, you look so great. Like, how did you lose all that weight? AIDS. All right, here's one more.
The AIDS diet plan helped me get back into a size 6.
AIDS helps control your appetite so you lose weight, yet AIDS lets you taste, chew, and enjoy. And the appetite suppressant in AIDS is not a stimulant.
AIDS helped me lose the weight and has nothing in it that could make me nervous.
Question, why take diet pills when you can enjoy AIDS? AIDS helps you lose weight safely and effectively. Use only as directed.
So that's the story of the AIDS diet plan.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, we were talking about that that was a big time.
I don't really know. You're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard spot with that topic. You know, 'cause
it's so bad.
I don't really know what to say about that.
Well, did you know when AIDS first started? I remember there was a news report about it, and they were calling it. It was originally called the gay plague.
Well, that's where it was originated. A
Yeah.
bathhouse in San Francisco was where the first case originated from.
Is that true?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
A bathhouse in San Francisco was where the first case originated from.
No, I'm just trying to think. How would you know that?
I read it along the way.
Yeah,
Look it up. Maybe Google it or something.
Well, there's a lot of theories about how AIDS is some kind of global apparatus, Illuminati way to keep our population down and all this.
Yeah, I'm open-minded to those theories. I believe in things like that. Not that one specifically, but I don't discount that.
There was a fella, I believe his name was Gallo. And he actually claimed there was no. I think his name is Gallo. He claimed that there was no AIDS, that there was no HIV, and he actually injected himself with HIV. He thought that it was a condition of poor health, and it's actually very interesting. So there is no universal standard about AIDS. What AIDS is to one country or region of the world, it's indicative only to that region. So in other words, I can go, for example, to Africa and take an AIDS test there, and I could be HIV positive, right? Then I could go to Sweden, take another HIV test, and they'll say, no, you're fine. You don't have HIV. So there is actually no universal standard, which if you look at the whole conspiracy theory about how it's used for population control, what really is going on with the epidemic in Africa? Do all these people really have HIV? Or is it, I don't know, Bill Gates does a lot of work down there, does a lot of tax write-off, injects a lot of those tribes, indigenous tribes, with a lot of experimental drugs. So who knows what's really going on over there?
Yeah, I don't discount that at all.
Yeah.
You know, I just watched that the docu-series, if you will, the 4-show docu-series on Netflix called The Pharmacist. And it's this one man, a father, whose son was lost tragically to, crack cocaine. A nice affluent family, a nice suburb in Louisiana. In the middle of the night, he went to the 5th Ward and he went to buy crack, and the dealer shot him as opposed to serve him. And the father was trying to find out who the dealer was so he could properly have him prosecuted. And in doing so, the father's a pharmacist, keep in mind, but in doing so, somehow he stumbled upon the first pill mill, right? The first documented pill mill.
What's a pill mill? A
pill mill is a doctor who sets shop up, and you come in with $300 cash, I'll write you 5 scripts. I won't tell just it's turn and burn cash business.
It's a croaker.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is the first documented case of it, and this doctor, she was in Louisiana. Her office wouldn't open till 11 p.m. at night, and it would close at 5 a.m. So all through the night, and there would be people that would drive from states and states away and would camp out in the parking lot. Some of them would have to wait for 3 days to be seen. That's how many people were in there. Just fucking. And he stumbled upon that, and then he started to like want to have that shut down because he felt I couldn't save my kid's life, so maybe I can save other kids' lives if I can help put this to end. And then in doing that, he started.
Well, how do you end it?
Well, it's only a 4-show series, so I suggest you watch it. I'm doing it a terrible injustice by trying to explain it. I'm not good with that, as you know.
He's trying to dance around giving you spoilers.
Yes,
I see.
All the work this guy did.
Okay.
Is this a documentary series or is this acted? Is this
no? He's got all the transcripts, all the footage, recordings.
This guy recorded
everything like
with
we
a camera.
have.
I see.
Really ingenious.
Wow.
But then from that, he stumbles into Big Pharma and how much of a problem that is. Yeah. And he starts calling the DEA, the FBI, and they're like, leave us alone. Stay out of this. We're actively pursuing it.
Yeah.
He doesn't think that they are because he's witnessing the first documented pill mill case in Louisiana. But the point of the story is, at the end, he starts believing he's crazy. Right? He starts thinking that people were after him, people were trying to kill him, to shut this down. And what happens is ultimately he played a big hand in helping shut down or Purdue.
So he feels gaslighted. He feels like maybe I'm imagining.
And he starts
all this.
believing it.
Maybe I'm in this whirlwind created in my head. This fictional, alternate, counterfeit reality.
Yeah,
that
and
I've
he's
created.
audio recording it at the time. So he's like, I pray to God that I'm wrong. And he's calling his wife saying, take care of so-and-so. If something happens to me, I hope I'm losing my mind, but I don't think I am.
Yeah.
He's in this weird, like, parallel universe of 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And at the end, it all proves to ring true. And it's all documented. So the reason why I bring that up is because you're going into these theories of, like, you know, maybe it is a tax write-off. Maybe it is, human population control and all. I believe it. I don't know if it is or isn't, but I don't put anything past anybody these days.
Well, dude, after Epstein commits suicide in jail, after all the guards fall asleep and conveniently the cameras just happen to shut off at the same time, I don't put anything past anything.
Absolutely not.
I mean, and anyway, what I love about conspiracy theories is you don't have to believe them to indulge in them. I mean, it's fun to think about these conspiracies, like your Alex Jones types. I mean, the guy is fucking an entertainment genius. If none of his theories are true,
right?
Like the Gary Webb stuff, the crack cocaine, how they made, how the Reagan administration basically made crack cocaine through backdoor deals with the Contras.
Oh, yeah.
And doing all that stuff. And Oliver North was involved and all that stuff, yeah. Gary Webb was found. He committed suicide by allegedly shooting himself in the head twice.
How did Gary Webb fit into the Iran-Contra?
He was the reporter that broke the story that was all going down. That we were shipping guns to the Contras and they were shipping cocaine back to America. And then next thing you know, Freeway Ricky Ross out in L.A. Has his hands on
the market,
all the crack. And then next thing you know, it destroys.
Which I totally buy into all that.
It happened. It's documented.
So why would this be crazy?
They later came out and admitted to it, but for years and years, I mean, Gary Webb was blacklisted. Like nobody wanted anything to do with him because at first they were like, "Oh, this is kind of believable. We want to look into this," and then it all just got shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got blacklisted, and years later. You know, Oliver North is talking about it, and
I mean, it's all financially driven. You know, how can the biggest players capitalize the most? Look at Purdue, right? They come under scrutiny because they've created this like epidemic of addiction. That's the number one human casualty. Yeah. So what's their next move? What did they try to do? They wanted to get into drug and alcohol treatment. Yeah. You know, Purdue, they realized, okay, you take opioids, this is a fact, you become constipated. You don't shit for days, weeks, sometimes months, depending on how much you're consuming on a daily basis. So what they do, they came up with a form of a laxative where you take this pill and now you shit. So they're literally covering it on both ends. Fuck. I mean, it's just...
And at the same time...
It's all financially driven.
Well, also at the same time, a couple other things happened. So we began the American war on drugs, right? So now
Just Say No,
now that they're
right?
illegal, there's Just Say No. There's the ad campaign. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. There was virtually every huge pop star in America did an anti-crack a commercial. Even Pee Wee Herman did one, right? So
he's coming out with a new movie, I hear.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
oh, I can't
a remake. He wrote a script, a remake to Pee Wee's Big Adventure, but like it's dark, like a darker way.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
He's like an alcoholic, I guess, in the movie. Is what they say.
Oh wow,
I'd be all about that.
That's fucking great.
I'd be all about
fucking
that.
right. Yeah,
oh, I'm there.
It's starting to create.
Well, his last one was great too. What was it? Pee Wee's Big Vacation or whatever. That was so good.
Yeah. I haven't seen any.
Oh, but anyway, so back
sorry,
to
I had to interject. That was good.
So that is what drove all the prices up. So now you had this tremendous influx of cocaine. So how did we drive demand up? By using our tax dollars, and also inadvertently the Iran-Contra was used to cheat Carter out of his chance for a second administration, right? Because that's why the hostages were all released right after Reagan got his presidency. So it's.
So with all that being said, how could you not believe in conspiracy
I know,
theories?
it's so fun, but it's so fun
No, I agree.
even if they're not true.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about flat Earth. Only kidding. All right, we got a caller here.
Area 51. I totally believe in that.
Hello, caller.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How you doing?
Good, buddy.
What up, man? I see from your area code you're a fellow Baltimorean.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Calling from Ellicott City right now.
Fuck yeah.
Just got out of work.
There we go.
Hey, man. Novak, I saw that you've been hanging out with Bam. How's he doing? Seem like he's okay?
Yeah. He's in a good place right now. Shall I say a better place than he was?
Good. And look, any step forward is a step in the right direction.
Exactly.
Man. I love to see that.
Exactly.
Frantz, have you had any contact with Bam at all?
Yeah, we talk. We mainly text. Every now and then, if he's in a really dark place, he usually gives me a call, and sometimes he's receptive to what I say, but not generally. Generally, he just wants to talk and he wants to air out his feelings. And I know when he's in a good mood because he'll text me some old memories that we have from back in the day, and I can picture him sitting around reminiscing. I know that he is, making a valiant effort for sobriety. I know he wants it. There's always a question though. It's does a person have the desire to seek the wisdom that they need to that they need to gain to change? So the whole thing is a process and it never ends.
Right, and I think Novak has said something around the lines of like, and it's kind of cliche that they're not going to take the help unless they actually want to, unless it's their idea, unless they're ready for that help and they're ready for that change.
Yeah. So you can kind of just hopefully help create the narrative or structure for when the question's asked, it'll be much easier.
Right, and just kind of keep that positive environment, I think.
There's a lot of facets about being ready for sobriety, though, that I've noticed. With my friends who are in all the programs. I mean, it's not just okay. Do they really want it? Like, a lot of times you want something in life, but you don't know how to achieve it. It's like like how many people do you know? What the hell is going on over there, caller? What are you doing?
Me? I'm driving.
Oh, okay. Sounds like you're in a boiler room. But I don't know. So it's like, like for example, in life, like you might want to have a great relationship with, with a guy or a girl, but maybe you don't have the tools that you need to be able to build up a relationship. Maybe you've never seen a healthy relationship in your life, right? Maybe you want to be able to get the skills you need to have for a good job. But, you lack all skills and you lack any wisdom to know how to gain any of those skills. The same goes with sobriety, I wish it was as simple as the old saying, it takes a habit to replace a habit. And if you just keep busy, you'll find other shit to do. But, finding the other shit to do doesn't really happen right away. There's that big period of discomfort.
Right. No, I definitely, man, I wish him the best of luck. He was all of you guys were part of my childhood growing up. So, as long as, like I said, everyone's kind of in a good place, that's great. But my other question is, had you guys not found fame, what kind of day job do you think you'd be doing right now?
I can speak for myself. I always, in between, having an opportunity presented to me and then fucking it up, which I did a lot. I would always go to waiting tables.
Nice.
Not
Okay.
saying that I'd be waiting tables now, but something that involved me communicating with people. I had the gift of gab. I liked people that entertained me. I entertained them. So something where I was with the public. I couldn't see myself doing like a 9-to-5 cubicle office job. I need some form of interaction with people.
You'd be a podcaster,
sure.
Right?
There it is. There it is. You found your calling.
Frantz, what do you got? That's a good question.
It's funny. Excuse me. I've always envied people with no artistic aspirations. Sometimes when you have an innate desire to achieve and to create, I guess, to create art, and I like to write, and I like to make my films, and I like to produce, and I like to shoot, and all this stuff. But if I look at people who don't have the desire to do any of those things, and I envy them because it frees you up. I mean, like if I had the time back from every show that I developed and pitched, and from every script that I wrote that I could never get off the ground, and for every frustrating idea that I had that I saw the beauty in and I could never achieve, if I had that time back, I would be 10 fucking years younger. Alfred Hitchcock says that, he wasted, 7 years of his life pitching movies that would never come to fruition. So if I could free myself from all artistic ambitions, I would move to San Francisco or to Albuquerque, and I would work at a coffee shop and serve coffee all day.
That'd be rad.
And just chill out with my friends, or work at a bar and just not even make the fancy drinks, just to be a bar back and just to hang out and just sip beer with my friends and just watch movies and shoot the shit and play video games. That sounds like a very pleasurable existence.
Hey, man, that sounds fun. I'm stoked the show is back, and I can't wait to listen, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Appreciate it. Yeah, so that brings us to definitely past our halfway mark. And, I wanted to take this time for you all to learn about the Might Be News Network. Taylor, take it away.
Well, we have a ton of shows on the Might Be News Network. Might Be News, Relatable Radio, Might Be Sports, Might Be Brews, Might Be Tunes. We have so much stuff going on. I know a lot of your guys' fans have been really, really anxious for you guys to come back and take a listen to some of the other stuff that we've got going on at the network as well. There's so much. Monday through Friday is our goal. There's some weeks where we can't hit every day, but we try to have a different show out every day, Monday through Friday. It's pretty awesome. We love it.
Oh, we got a visit by our kitty here. Okay, here we go with part 2.
Hold on one second.
Oh.
All right, we're good.
All right. It's not happening. We got our perfect. All right, here we go.
Are you doing the intro again?
Yeah.
I drink Dr. Pepper, don't you see? 'Cause it's the perfect taste for me. That original taste, is making peppers everywhere I go. There's boating peppers, toting peppers, cooking peppers, good-looking peppers. Wouldn't you like to be a pepper too? Us peppers are an interesting breed. An original taste is what we need. Ask any pepper and he'll say, only Dr. Pepper tastes that way. There's carrying peppers, marrying peppers, diet peppers, quiet peppers. Wouldn't you like to be a pepper too? There's saluting peppers, tooting peppers. I'm a pepper man. Wouldn't you like to be a pepper too? Be a pepper, drink Dr. Pepper. Aye, aye. Be a pepper, drink Dr. Pepper.
The Novak and Frantz Show brought to you by Dr. Pepper. And that was the sound of a commercial that was, I think, it was put out, in 1978. And it was starring David Naughton, who went on to play an American Werewolf in London.
Wow.
So if you can imagine that guy singing.
That was his springboard.
Transforming into the monster.
That was his big break.
Yeah.
They had so much character back then.
I know.
The commercials, the advertisements.
Things sure have changed, huh?
jingles.
Yeah, like this is it's so dated, but like they played the shit out of this. Like people will go around singing this on the street.
Commercials used to be awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks to you, I'm just thinking about AIDS now.
The diet plan?
Yeah. It's so fucking twisted. I couldn't even
Remember how
add my
scared
2
you
cents
used to
in.
be when you used to give your blood?
That's what I thought. That was what I was thinking during that, actually.
Maybe I played it for the wrong crowd.
You did.
I
You really
expected-
did.
I expected it to have more of an
if
emotion,
you played like
more of a happy
radio,
emotion.
Radio Bam, that would have been like the right time or place, I think.
Wait, so you want me to come on this show and play Radio Bam episodes?
No, if you would have played that.
I know what you meant. No, but so the story about so as a junkie, one of the ways to get money would be to donate blood.
Well,
and
why
they
don't
would
you
pay
just preface this with the title of the chapter the story goes into?
Oh well, I
Maybe
wasn't
that-
after that. I was after when you used
But
to
that
go.
kind of all, I think, connects.
Yeah, well, there
intertwines.
Well, there is a chapter in the new book, The Streets of Baltimore, called the AIDS needle I shot up with,
which is very true.
Yeah, maybe next show I'll actually read a chapter, get people a little excited.
Yeah, I think that would be very pertinent.
But what was the stress going through your mind giving blood, thinking that you possibly had AIDS, and then they would pay you money to come back, and then you wouldn't accept the money because you didn't want to see the results?
I didn't want the results. So I tried to finagle a deal with the doctor saying, look, just give me the check. It was $23. The check will be for $23. I wish.
And it's in a blood bank or a hospital?
No, it wasn't a hospital. So it was like a blood bank of sorts.
Okay, so
they provided other services.
Okay.
Counseling, things of that nature.
And didn't they recognize you were a junkie and not want your blood?
No, that's why they wanted it. That's exactly why they wanted it, because they were trying. It was like a form of harm reduction years ago. So they knew that alcoholics, addicts don't stay on top of their health and wealth, right? So what better way could we get an addict to come in and let him know what's going on with him than offering him $23, right? So you would go and you would give blood, and they would give you a check when you give the blood. But then, so when they give you the first time they give you the blood, they also the check comes accompanied with brand new syringes, clean water, clean cookers, little sterile metal caps, clean little cottons that you throw in there that you use to inject it with, and clean everything, sterile, clean everything. And so that's a form of harm reduction right there. And then you want the other check for the results. So you go back.
But I thought the whole purpose of them was to get blood for people who needed blood for operations and stuff.
No, not at all.
Oh, this
was geared directly towards addicts and alcoholics.
Oh, so it was a governmental funded program.
Absolutely.
In order to, what do you call that? Cut down on collateral damage.
I call it harm
of
reduction.
Addiction.
Yeah.
Harm reduction. Wow.
Yes.
I didn't understand that part.
No, that's exactly what it was geared towards. You know. So then, look, like it actually worked, right? Because during that time when I was caught up in active addiction, the last thing I gave a shit about was knowing what I may or may not have contracted.
Yeah.
Through my precarious ways of living.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I did want $23.
Yeah.
You know. So I would go and I would do that, and I remember. It was perfect because the check, it was right down the street from a check cashing place, right on Broadway, a block or two up from the 7-Eleven where I called for help that one time.
Mm-hmm.
And you would, a couple blocks down was where the place was, the clinic. You would get it, and they'd cut you the check there for $23. You'd walk up to the Broadway pharmacy, which is on Broadway, and they would charge like $1.82 or $2 to cash the check. So when you actually got the money, you got $20. It made it worthwhile. You could get 2 pills of heroin, $10 a piece. They kind of knew what they were doing. But then when it happened and I wasn't able to finagle a deal with the doctor saying just give me the money and not the results, and they gave them to me regardless of how I asked, I knew now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then when the opportunity presented itself, the time came where I was confronted with, okay, if I'm going to get clean, that means that I'm going to have to start caring about my health. And I remember they diagnosed me with hepatitis.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you were giving that guy some insight on what it kind of looks like or takes for a person to begin their journey in recovery.
Yeah.
You know, it's all little pieces that at the end fit together to build this big, pretty picture. Same deal. That was just a little intricate piece that fit in this big puzzle that you see now, which is a guy sitting at the table who doesn't have
I just can't imagine the
anymore.
stress of being convinced that I had HIV and just like the stress of sitting there while they take my blood, and I'm just like, I should want to see the fucking results of this, but I don't want to know. You know, I can't know.
Welcome to addiction.
Yeah.
I mean, because that moment of clarity when it appears, and I for whatever period of time recognize reality for what it is, what I have created due to my decisions, choosing to follow active addiction. Now I'm presented with I might have AIDS. So, oh shit, do I address this and go through a really painful, uncomfortable situation? Or do I just get $10 and go shoot up and escape my reality that I have created? Ignorance is bliss now. You know?
Yeah.
And that's kind of why it's always a wash, rinse, repeat cycle.
I've known people who never get an STD test.
Sure.
And they'll lie. Out there, when people tell you that they're clean when you have sex with them and they tell you they had an STD test, never believe them.
Sure.
I've met so many fucking people who will just lie to their partner and say they had it just because they don't really want to know. And their logic, Eazy-E said this on Howard Stern. Howard Stern said, how do you know, you don't have AIDS or you don't have some disease? You're sitting there banging all these girls without a condom. He said, because if I had a disease, then they would have it. Then I would know. And Howard Stern goes, I love that logic. And of course, Eazy dies of AIDS, right? So it's,
I mean, to kind of prove that point a little bit more further down the road, when I was like, we were filming and in Westchester and running around like a bull in a china shop.
Yeah.
I didn't ever want to get tested, right, for STDs or anything. So I'd have sex with people, and then when they would get tested, I'd find out if I was okay.
Jesus.
By way of their tests.
That's stressful.
Which is really fucked up. And
that is fucked
up. The reason why I'm being so transparent is because I'm trying to kind of hopefully induce some form of harm reduction for someone in the future that might find themselves in a precarious situation. So it's you're right. Like fuck, if I have my cock rock hard and a chick's pants are down and I'm getting ready to fuck and she says, are you clean? Odds are if I'm not, say, no, I'm not. Looks like I'm not fucking now.
Did you say the chick's pants are down too?
Yeah.
So that's how you start having sex? Or you just sit there and pull down your pants and just stand there?
Why do you make shit weird?
I just got a visualization.
You make shit weird.
All right, let's go to the line.
God damn it.
Hello, caller. Sorry you had to hear that.
That was pretty interesting.
Man, I hope this
is my
person's
second time
18.
calling in and getting to talk to you guys.
Oh,
it's been a
cool.
while, though. Yeah. I was just wanting to know, I don't know if anyone's asked this yet. How's the book coming along, and when's it going to be released?
Oh, you gotta. We already did this, so you gotta. When the show comes out, you gotta rewind it, so we don't have to say it twice and bore everybody. But soon, it's already written. It's coming out soon.
Awesome, because you said my name's going to be in there in the special.
Oh yeah,
thanks or whatever.
We thanked a lot of fans and people who supported us and that kind of stuff. I wanted to make sure. We got the people who gave us the strongest support in there. So thank you again.
Awesome, thank you. I can't wait to read it.
Cool. You have any other questions?
My mind's gone blank, just like last time.
Right.
I did want to ask you if you guys have ever heard of what's called organite.
Nope.
Is that a mineral?
It's actually epoxy resin with crystals and metals in it. And it neutralizes the effects of 5G radiation and negative frequencies such as that.
Oh yeah, because that 5G radiation, they always put those towers, the 5G stuff. They always end up putting it on a government building, and then they'll find out 19 kids in the school suddenly have horrible brain cancer. Yeah.
Yes.
And then they say, well,
yeah, they're doing the 5G.
We're gonna do is we're going to. Apple is going to have an internal study, and we're going to study to see if we were the cause of the harm. And then, of course, when the study comes out, looks like It didn't have anything to do with us. It's an incredible coincidence that cancer in this one particular school is 19,000 times the rate of other schools next to nuclear reactors. Yeah, this makes me sick.
This actually, chimes in perfectly with what we were talking about, with the conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Well, like there's a
the
viral video going around right now of one of the linemen, the people who put this stuff, that install this stuff, and he's talking about the science behind the 5G stuff and how it basically can liquefy your cells, and it's like super close range as opposed to what we've become used to is kind of like more long range. It like sweeps further, whereas the 5G is more concentrated, and he's really worried about,
which is how radiation sickness works. So for example, if there's like if there's a nuclear blast and we get the fallout coming down in the rain, that's exactly how radiation poison happens. It decreases your cell's ability to regenerate.
Right.
Which is why radiation actually affects younger people more than it does older people, because their cells regenerate at a way faster rate. So if you look at places like Chernobyl or 3 Mile Island and stuff like that, the radiation affects the elderly very seldom.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Very crazy stuff.
Well, thank you so much for
Yeah,
your
it totally
call.
breaks your DNA apart.
Yeah. Wait, how did you get so interested in this?
Just keeping my eyes open as to what's going on in the world, and the contrail, chemtrail thing that's going on, and
that's
just
another one.
Things that are bad for humanity for the most part, and I don't know how I exactly got into it. It's been over a period of time, though.
Yeah.
And, they say question everything.
Yes.
And that literally means everything.
Yes.
So don't take everything for face value, what the government tells you, what the media tells you. Just keep your eyes open.
I like this girl. All right. Thanks again. We appreciate it.
All right. You guys have a good one.
Okay.
Take care. Which is one of my biggest problems. I'm prone to say yes to 9 out of 10 things.
Yeah.
I'm a horrible negotiator. I want to say, I don't know. My brother pointed that out about me and my mother. We're just prone to say yes.
It's fun to learn to be curious. Dude, there's nothing worse than trying to talk to someone about something interesting. It's just a conspiracy theory. I don't want to talk about that.
Right.
All right, what do you want to talk about? Hockey. Oh, God, dude. You're boring the shit out of me already, dude. Oh, we got another caller. Go ahead, caller. Hello.
Hey, Joe. Hey, Brandon. How's it going?
Hey. How are you?
Good.
Good. Frantz, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
When you filmed Jackass 2, I know the scene with Vito and the Lamborghini tooth pull got taken out. What actually happened, and what went through your guys' heads when it came to that scene?
Well, actually, it's by incredible coincidence, you're the second person to call about this, but I will say that when we were filming it, I was very stressed because I was shooting in slow motion. Now, there wasn't the capability to shoot slow motion with the current video cameras that we had to work on that movie, so we decided to shoot it in 16 millimeter film. And so that's what I had running through the old Bolex. And you only have 3 minutes of film that can run through that camera before you need to reload. Now, when you're doing slow motion, it's a minute and a half. So right when the shot started, they had to do it in a fucking minute. So they were kind of goofing around and joking around and high-fiving each other. I was like, go, go, go. I start fucking yelling at Knoxville, and bam, and they realized they could hear the motor running, and they jumped in there. So I was just terrified I wouldn't get the shot. I wasn't concerned for Vito. He was he's a man who was used to physical adversity. The motherfucker was the guy who, when he worked in an auto body shop and he did fiberglass work, he wouldn't wear the mask until his lung collapsed. Like, he was that dude. Like, when he he fell on the ice and broke his arm. Did he go to the hospital? No, because he couldn't afford it, didn't have insurance, so he just took aspirin.
He traded half a hoagie for a blowjob once.
Did he?
I always think of that.
How do you know that?
Phil told us.
Why only
I know.
half?
I
There's
think
a lot
Phil
of
told
questions.
us that too.
Yeah.
I think he told us that too.
That's some good bargaining.
Yeah.
You're like,
It
I'm
just shows
really
the caliber of people
hungry.
he surrounded himself with.
But just
Who's the person that says that's a good deal?
Yeah, like I'm so hungry. Well, give me a blowjob. I'll give you. Yeah, well, I tell you what, man. Like, I'll suck your dick for that hoagie. How about half the hoagie?
See, that's like me negotiating with myself. That's how I do. I fuck myself over all the time.
Well, anyway, thank you for your call.
Food or alcohol, he went for it.
Oh wait, what was that? Oh yeah.
I said it seemed like if you offered him food or alcohol or money at any extent, he would take it.
Yes.
No matter how little or how much.
Yes. What's your age, caller? I gotta know.
24.
You're 24?
Are you hitting on him, weirdo?
No, I was wondering because he has an interesting oration about him. The way.
Again, are you hitting on him?
Yes. Are you single?
Franz always makes shit weird, man.
My girlfriend's upstairs right now. Calm down.
Yeah, simmer down, Franz. You got him all hot and bothered, man. Hey, thanks for calling in, my
Where'd
friend.
you meet your girlfriend?
Now he's jealous.
We met through mutual friends.
Okay, the old-fashioned way. That's the good way to do it. I hate these dating sites, man. These Tinders and all this. I don't understand why people would want to do anything like that.
Sounded so old. These Tinders and all this stuff. Yeah, you sound like that old man.
Well, I am. I'm not exactly young.
Jesus Christ.
I don't sparkle of youth. All right. Well, thanks again, caller. Where do you live? No, only kidding. Okay.
But he's not.
It was funny when we were talking about a hoagie. One more caller. Yeah.
It's on.
Okay. Go ahead, caller. Hello.
I guess I want to talk to us.
Hi-ho, caller. Well, he's only been on for 12 seconds. You think we can get bored that fast?
I know.
But it was funny. I remembered a prank war that I had with Dico when he said about the hoagie. This is good. I've never told this story before. This is a fucking good one. So Dico had what was it? What was that truck that he had? That old truck. Was it a Chevy?
Was it the Bronco?
Yeah, the Bronco, right? So he had this Bronco, and I realized that it has those little corner windows, the little triangular ones.
Yeah.
And the one didn't work. So we would always go to the arcade. They had an arcade in St. Pete's that we go to. You know, you play the old video games and pinballs. And he always had quarters. So one time I took like 5 fucking rolls of quarters and I replaced it with 1 penny. And he blamed that on Josh Richards. Remember Josh Richards,
Yeah.
Dix, the production manager dude? He hated him for years because he thought that he ripped him off, right? Okay, so then I realized I could get his goat.
Dico hated a lot of people.
Yeah, he really did, man. Once he decided he didn't like somebody, isn't that weird?
Jesus Christ. He really did, if you think about it.
Yeah, it was bad.
And you're right. Once he made his mind up, there was no changing it.
And I think of some of the people he hated that were largely unhateable. Like some of the people were completely lovable. I don't want to mention any names of the people who hate because I don't want to hurt their feelings. But like some of the people, I was like, why do you hate that dude? He's like, I don't know. I just don't like him.
It's
weird.
Why possess so much hate?
Yeah. Well, anyway,
there's something deeper there.
Yeah, this began to be a lighthearted story. So anyway,
let me diagnose the problem here.
So speaking of hoagies, right? So he got fucking angry at me one time. So he had it was a
you don't say.
It was
Dico
called.
got angry.
I know if you can believe
No.
that. So it was a Thanksgiving hoagie. So it was a delicious hoagie that he got, and it was
Even you
Why is the
bored your
cat-
cat.
why is the cat-
I don't blame you.
So
I wish
it's-
I could leave.
She's growling. Okay, so it's a hoagie with turkey, gravy, stuffing, and cranberry sauce. And so he saw me eating a hoagie. He goes, "Is that my fucking hoagie?" I'm like, "No, yours is over there." He goes, "Is that a Thanksgiving hoagie?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I got one too." He goes, "No, you fucking didn't. You ate my fucking hoagie." I'm like, "No, I'm not. Yours is over there in the box." He goes, "No, I am the only one who knew to get." So he made a big deal. I'm like, "Look," and I go to the box and I get it. I'm like, "Here, right there, open it up." And he goes, well, I was just mad because I thought, I'm like, well, you're still mad.
Yeah.
You're mad for I'm not eating your hoagie. So I'm like, I'm going to get that son of a bitch. So he ate half the hoagie and saved the other half and put it on his fucking car seat. I'm like, ooh, you shouldn't have fucking made me mad, Dico. So I opened up the little side window, opened up, unlatched it, and took it from him. Now it was winter. I kept it under my fucking car seat in my hatchback for 2 weeks. And 2 weeks later, I put it back where I got it from.
Oh, God.
So, like, 2 weeks later, he just sat there and was like, here's the fucking hoagie. I looked for this. I thought it was here. How could it have been here the whole time? So then, Bam had all these porno magazines at his house. I forget, the Hustler, someone was sending him porno mags. So I took all the fucking porno mags. Now, Dico had a lead foot, right? When you drove with him, man, it was like start, stop, right? Like fucking gunning it all the way. So I put him underneath the driver's seat. So when he hit that first break at the end of the road where that first stop sign is, and he nailed it, all the pornos shot out from under the thing. And he's wondering, how did these get here? Did I borrow these? Did Bam give these to me? How long have these been here? So then, Bam had the Tony Hawk Pro Skater game happening, and they sent him a fucking Xbox, a PlayStation, like all these fucking video games and consoles. And I fucking stole them all and put them in the back of Dico's fucking thing, the bed of his truck, and I put a blanket over it. And he saw it a week later and came back and it's like, fuck, like, and he thought Lendon, remember Lendon?
Yeah.
So he thought that Lendon stole them and fucking tried to make Dico be the getaway car. And he didn't want Lendon to get caught. So he like had to fucking go back to Bam's like late at night and sneak them into the house. Yeah.
Wow.
So I just kept fucking with him. And finally I told him what I did on an episode of Radio Bam. And he's like, dude, I thought I was going crazy. So we shook on it, and that's how I got Dico. That's one of my
that's a good one.
One of my favorite Dico stories.
Well, that was always the thing. Whenever an issue would arise with you, is that I knew that you were very patient and you were very meticulous, and that you would not lose. You know what I mean? So no matter how much I fucking hated you and wanted to like kill you, I'm like, I had to be careful because I knew that it was. I think that's largely in part why that invisible chess game always played in my mind when it came to you. Yeah. You know, because I recognized those traits that you had. I knew. I saw that in your makeup. So therefore, I was always very cautious and careful with what and when I did to you.
I'll share that with the audience real quick. So it's like, you know, when the 12 steps of recovery, the 9th step is when you go to all the people that you feel you've wronged financially or in a relationship, and you make amends to them. Mm-hmm. You tell them you apologize, and you wonder how to make it right.
Make your wrongs right.
So when Brandon came up to me, he came to my house one time, and we went out on the deck, and he sat there, and he's like, this is my step, and I don't want to make my amends to you. I was like, okay, cool. Like, you don't have to do this. Like, everything's water under the bridge. We're good friends. You're like my little brother. I love you. You know, it's cool. But okay, like, you need to do this, so I'll listen. And you started telling me how you knew that life was this mental chess game between us, and like how I was always 2 steps ahead, and you always felt you had to like be 2 steps ahead of me. And you're like, you know how we have that thing going on? Like, I just want to squash that. I'm like, Brandon, we don't have that going on. I don't know what you're talking about. You're the only one who thinks that. Like, is that what you thought all these years? Like that must have been
it was mentally draining. and you know, and it was all just to cover up my addiction, right? Because I didn't want that exposed. And I knew that your words hold weight, right? You're a credible fella, and you're a stand-up guy, if you will. So when you say things to people, they listen. Much more than they would listen to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your words definitely held more weight than mine. So when Frantz says, Novak did this, he did this, he's that, I'm fucked. I always had to, despite what I was up to, present things in a certain manner.
And play the good guy.
And hope that they all aligned whenever they were exposed. But the unfortunate thing is you didn't know you were in this game of chess with me.
I know, it's so weird.
So I was just going insane.
Yeah. Well, I guess...
It makes me think of something real quick that was going around. People were talking about whether or not people had internal monologues.
Yeah.
Have you heard about this stuff going around? Like,
no.
I guess some people didn't realize that not everybody does that, or if you don't have an internal monologue, that you didn't even realize that other people are walking around literally narrating their own lives to themselves. Now, do you guys have internal monologues going on?
All the time. I even talk to myself.
Yeah.
Like if I'm alone, I'll narrate what I'm doing to myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm like, okay, now I got to get the thing. Oh, God damn it. I forgot to make the call. I'm an idiot. When I talk to him, I'm going to be like, blah, blah, blah. Like you know what I mean? Like I have,
past just being in the shower, though. Like a lot of people just do that kind of shit in the shower. But like, I am one of those people who do it all day long. All day long.
Now, do you rehearse what you're going to say to people if you...
like certain situations, yeah. Like if I am going to go talk to my boss about something work-related, I need to make sure that I have my shit together. If I'm getting ready to do a podcast and host a podcast, I need to make sure that I have my shit together.
It's like Shakespeare wrote, what's the saying about how the world is a stage, yet we are all actors, right?
Right.
So it's like we're all playing a part.
Novak, do you have an internal monologue?
I do, but to dive in a little bit to what you just referenced, the world's a play, and we all play a part. And in this program of mine that I work in, it talks about if only Frantz would play the role that I assigned him, the show would go off without a hitch. If only the lighting director shined it here, the audience would be pleased. Only for me to walk away never happy, right? Because expectations are nothing but unfulfilled resentments. So the moment you don't do as I think you should do, say as I think you should say, or feel as I think you should feel, I'm immediately fucking furious. So the sooner that I could come to grips with the fact of the matter is all that I can control is me, my thinking, my attitude, my behavior, and I stop believing that I can dictate the outcome of what you choose to do or not do, the easier my life becomes because now there's no expectations. This is what it is. But absolutely, I fucking talk to myself all the time, and the cool thing now is after working the 12 steps of the 12-step program that I belong to, I now have this heightened sense of awareness because I used to talk to myself so much I'd create this narrative to where I'd talk myself into a really fucked up situation. Whether it was real or fancied, who knows? But now I can talk myself off the ledge really quick because I have that awareness to say, okay, these are the facts. I'm right here, right now, doing this with you. What's going to happen 10 minutes from now or yesterday, it does not matter because I cannot control or dictate the outcome of it.
It's all freeing when you do that, man. Like you are freed from the biggest burden.
Easier said than done, but
yeah. Well, those expectations that we have on other people is literally a prison that you constructed with your own hands.
Self-induced.
You know? And you've built a prison around yourself, and it's like you look at these control freaks who are like always angry that no one's acting the right way, no one's acting like they should,
Dico.
no one's doing this. Dico, your father,
my
dad,
like
I used to be like that when I was in my very early 20s. I was like that. I was very impatient. And I was like, no one's acting like they should, and it's like. Once I freed myself of that internal script that no one else is following but me, God, it felt like all life's burdens. Because in the end, what do we really control? Going back to the fucking dinosaur bone, it's like the dinosaur analogy.
Full circle.
It's
here.
like even the Tyrannosaurus Rex, eating the 220 pounds of meat, no one else could kill him. But like at the end, we're all fucking bones in the ground. So it's like in the end, what do you really control?
Absolutely.
So it's
and it all comes back to acceptance is the answer to everything. Yeah. It really is. A project we have going on right now. Things were great, and then we got a little speed bump today, and immediately I'm on a plane. My phone shut down. I can't call. I can't text. I have 3 hours to think about this. Now my brain, the one that's so fucked up that puts me in a lot of positions I don't want to be in and makes me feel a lot of things I don't like to feel, will start talking all this shit to me. Right? Fancied, not real. I'm making this up from this fucked up brain of mine. So what I have to do is I have to ground myself, and I say the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Then I back it up with like simple things that people have told me along the way, like rejection is God's protection. Ultimately, it's just saying that there's such a bigger picture at play, and I cannot control the outcome of it. And whatever is supposed to be is exactly how it's supposed to be. It might not make sense to me now, but it will. You know, so it's just a less of a burden.
It's awesome. I love it.
You know.
Well, hey, we're already gone over. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. And We don't have a Patreon. We're not asking for donations. But if you, I always, if people always ask, how can I donate? Don't donate. But if you want to get cool stuff, cool autographed stuff, here we have Dream Seller, and all these come. Why isn't this autograph?
CUM.
Oh, this is a misprint. This is one of the misprints. But believe me, if you get one of these on BrandonNovak.com or Amazon, they will, the Amazon one will be autographed. Go to BrandonNovak.com for the autograph. This is the Brandon Novak Chronicles, the world's first addiction graphic novel.
Never been done before. Really proud of that.
Yeah, and the
stories of Don Vito.
It's probably not a signed one
this
either.
isn't signed either, but these will come signed on BrandonNovak.com or Amazon. And what's really cool is the featured story is a CKY story.
He's showing it to YouTube for the podcast.
I'm showing it to YouTube. Anyway,
stories that have not been told.
Anyway, there's a 40-page story about the CKY crew and one of Novak's incredible, horrible drug
you're giving
journeys.
him too much information.
Okay, all right, too
Just
much.
check
Sorry.
it out.
Check it out, and thank you so much, and we love you.
And hey, if you have a problem and you need a little assistance with getting yourself out of the position you may find yourself in, call me directly, 610-635-9092. Me or my team will do whatever we can to get you the help that you need.
MBN Network. Go there. MBNnetwork.com. We have a Patreon. Patreon.com/MBN Network. Go there, subscribe, get on the Wild Card Game Show, get exclusive Novak and Frantz stuff and everything else. Go there. We'll see you guys next time.